Time to light it up. What is... Kill me now.
Welcome back to Box Office Maniacs, but actually it's December now, so we have turned into Merry Maniacs like we do every December. Now, if you're still new to the show, if you're one of the new Maniacs and you haven't been here for our December shows, what we do is basically kind of lean towards more of a holiday movies and review sort of the weirder holiday films and some of the classic holiday films and some classic holiday horror films sometimes. So we do a variety of stuff, and we are still doing The Mandalorian and things like that. Just because it's December, things like that can't stop since we started. And we're doing, a variety of stuff. Now today, for the first video here on Merry Maniacs for 2019, I thought to do something a little special for you guys. Now, back in the 80s, when I was a kid, for every Sunday we'd always get a paper, and I would, instantly go to the entertainment section and see what movies are coming out, because that was really the only way that you could see the poster for the film. And I was so obsessed with movies even back then, I would actually love the posters so much I would cut them out of the paper and keep them. And I actually found my Trapper portfolio. Here it is. Now I might have to turn the green screen off because this is probably blue. I don't know if it'll actually fade out. But this is actually from the 1980s. Believe it or not, this is what the Trapper portfolio looks like in the 1980s. I'm not even joking. That's how old this thing is. Now inside here I have lots of clippings I cut out of the papers of the original movie, like the week it came out. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. This is my present for you. This is my first present for you guys for Merry Maniacs this year, to take a look at some of these clippings. Now I found this folder a couple of years ago actually, and then it ended up getting buried back in my storeroom, and I've been cleaning out my storeroom and I actually just found this again. So I decided, okay, I'm keeping it out this year and I'm going to show it to you guys. Just sort of a blast from the past, really. And to show you how obsessed I was with movies, even when I was a kid back in the 80s, and I would cut the posters out and keep them in a portfolio because I love the artwork and I love the posters for the film so much. And again, back then, you couldn't really buy posters. I guess you could, since there was no internet. I mean, but that's how much I loved the films. I would actually keep clippings from the paper. And I haven't looked at this thing for a long time, so I don't even know what's in here. Again, it's probably early 80s, mid 80s, probably even into the 90s, or where these clippings came from. And I'm pretty excited to share them to you and show you what I got and just to see it myself. So let's get right to it. Here are the movie clippings, I don't know really what to call it, from the 1980s, from the paper. I mean, you can see it's really beat up, and it has my name on there. I wrote my name on there many years ago. And here's the back of it. I mean, it's just, the whole thing's just falling apart. But this is, where I put my movie clippings. Now, I'm not going to have these in any sort of order. I'm just going to take them out of there as they're in there, because it would take me way too long to figure out what movie came out what year and show them in the actual order. So, let's get to it. Alright, so I thought the first thing I would start with, being that it's Merry Maniacs, is a clipping I cut out of the paper, and it says Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo return as Clark and Ellen Griswold in the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Why I cut this out, I don't know, but this was the year that Christmas Vacation actually came out, so there you go. So up next is Child's Play 2, and the funny thing is, like, half of these movie theaters don't exist anymore. They've all closed down, and Kenrick is no longer there. That's way gone. Ronnie's is still there, but it's all new. They redid it. Oh, anyway. So here you go. Here's the Child's Play 2 poster that was in the paper the week it came out, or the week before, because it starts today down here, if you see that. And I've always loved this. I actually had the colored poster of this in my room for a really long time. But it was just a really cool poster. And look how huge this thing is. It took up like the whole entire page just about. So this here is a clip from July 23rd, 1989. And I'm assuming I cut it out because of all the Batman stuff. Because, the Batman movie was coming out, and I was Batman crazy. Still am, actually. But yeah, it's I guess they were just showing different Batman things, and I have no idea why I cut it out, but this shows you kind of the date here, right around when I was doing this, 1989. This is one of the older ones. Die Harder in 12 days. So obviously this was an ad for the sequel of Die Hard, and it was in the paper where it just says Die Harder in 12 days. That's all there is. And here's the actual ad for it. Die Harder, 1 day early, special Tuesday night engagement, starts at 7:30. Awesome, the biggest, boldest movie of the year. Everything else has been a warm-up for this mind-blowing, roof-raising explosiveness of Die Hard 2. So, yeah, it's not a very great ad. It's a picture of Bruce Willis. So, yeah, some of the posters back then were not that great. But that was the ad for Die Harder. Now, this one here is pretty cool. It's, of course, Misery. That was in the paper. And again, it's a huge ad. I mean, I'm kind of surprised on how big some of these ads actually were. So this was a big film for me because I loved the book so much. And I believe we reviewed it, or we were going to review it for Horror Month. I don't know if we ever actually did. We've done so many, I don't remember anymore. But it's a really cool ad. Here's a picture of Michael J. Fox as his daughter in Back to the Future Part 2. Again, why I cut it out, I have no idea, because I was obsessed with Back to the Future. And any images from the Back to the Future, I'd cut out and keep. Here you go, guys. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. So far, the best of the series. So if this was the actual ad for it, it wasn't very big. Maybe I missed it, or maybe there's more in here of it, but it's a pretty small ad for Nightmare 4. They didn't really pay a whole lot for advertising. You want to talk about a classic? Here you go. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I mean, Indy's back and more fun than ever. Dynamite. The excitement doesn't stop. Joel Siegel. Good Morning America. But you got Indy here on the horse, and you got Indy over here making out with his woman. And then down here you have all the pictures of the tanks, and Indy over here on the horse. And it looks like it already had come out because it said it was held over. So I don't know what year this was that this ad came out. It would have been nice if they had some kind of dates on here. But yeah, I'm assuming this is probably late in the run for the movie. And again, in no certain order here, Gremlins 2, the new batch. Great hippier, yeah, it's hippier and funnier than the first. Take your batch to the new batch. That makes no sense, but okay. Take your batch to the new batch. But there it is, Gremlins 2, the original ad that was in the paper. And now we got Shocker, which I know we did review on this channel at some point. Starts Friday, so this was actually in the Sunday paper before. So not a really big ad for it, but it was a really cool ad. I've always loved the artwork to the ad of the guy getting electrocuted there, so it was always a really cool ad. So from the director of Nightmare on Elm Street and Serpent Rainbow, on October 2nd at 6:45 a.m., mass murderer Horace Pinker, was put to death, and now he's really mad. I mean, it's a terrible tagline. And it's kind of a pretty terrible movie, too. Not a great film, but a great soundtrack, actually. And so this is the original Tremors. Now showing, it said, Tremors is a monstrous comedy. Thumbs up. Terrific time. It's a pleasure. So it's a tradition of the 50s horror movie. Tremors is bound to become a classic. And, of course, it did become a classic, and there's like 15 sequels to it. But, again, really great ad for this. Really great poster. Love this thing coming up the ground. I mean, it's just a really cool ad. Some of these I do question myself on why I cut them out of the paper. Jaws with legs, 2 thumbs up. This is Arachnophobia. I mean, it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I don't know why I actually cut this one out of the paper because it's not something I've seen a dozen times, or maybe seen it twice. But yeah, Arachnophobia. Now here is The Little Mermaid. This was, I guess, maybe one of the very few, or maybe the only movie I actually went to go see, and it was sold out. I went to go see it on a Friday night or Saturday night. Couldn't get into it. It was completely sold out. So, and this is, I guess, as big as ad as it got. And for some reason, I have 2 of them. don't know why, but I do have 2 of them. I guess I liked it so much I actually cut out 2 versions of it. And again, speaking of things that I'm not sure why I cut out, but here it is. Tango and Cash. Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell. 2 of LA's top rival cops are going to have to work together, even if it kills them. So, a great film. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a really good movie. But yeah, I got the ad for it. Again, continuing the why did I cut this out? Not sure. It's Robert Englund was Freddy. Now he's the Phantom of the Opera. Because maybe I thought this was going to be like the next, Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever. But I actually cut this out when it started that day. Starts today. I, Madman, not fit for sane audience. So, yeah. That's another article I cut out. I probably went to go see I, Madman. I don't even remember the movie that well. But apparently it's not fit for sane audiences. And here is Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear. I didn't even know what that was the name of it. But if you see only one movie this year, you should get out more often. I love the first film. I don't really remember much of the second film, but it starts Friday. So, yeah, you can rush out there and go see this one. So I was a really big wrestling fan back in the day, okay? I mean, all right? I have a really interesting story about this. When I graduated high school, my sister was going to take me to go see this for my graduation present, and then she ate something and her face swelled up and they had her take her to the hospital. So I spent the night of my graduation asleep on the floor of her apartment. So that's how I spent my graduation from high school. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you. Okay, this one I don't know. I don't remember the bear. I don't remember seeing the bear. Apparently it has a lot of critics that love it, but the bear, I mean, that's really weird. I don't know. Here's one they must have spent some kind of money on. The Jetsons, the movie, opens July 6th because it is in color. So I don't remember actually ever going to see this in the show. I probably didn't. Actually, I don't know if I've ever actually seen this. I may have at some point, but it's pretty cool. It's the first one I've had in color here. So this is a good one. Edward Scissorhands, now playing. So it was one of my favorite films. Still is one of my favorite movies. Just an outstanding film. And this would be a good movie to review for Merry Maniacs this year. I might actually get around to actually reviewing this one finally. So really cool ad. It doesn't really show off, the film that much, but it does show Edward, and it has all the quotes here from the critics and everything, and the snowflakes falling. So it doesn't say what year it came out. It just says now playing, no passes. Okay, so this is an older one. As you can see, I used to have it taped up somewhere because I still had the tape on it. So at some place in my room, probably, I had this thing taped up. It's the Rocky IV original ad in the paper, which starts Wednesday. So that's pretty cool. It's really yellowed. And up here, it's really torn. On the back, you can partly see this is Enemy Mine, and you can see how big this was. I mean, I was expecting. I guess they were expecting it to be a massive film, and I don't think it really was that big of a hit. But it's a pretty big ad, even though it was only part of it there. Now we have returned to another Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He's back, more fun than ever. Much better poster than the other one. Here is I, Madman. The ad for it starts today. So I must have gone and seen this, but spend Friday the 13th with a Madman. So it must have come out on Friday the 13th. I have no memory of the movie, but I do have the ad for it. Here's a very small ad for Total Recall. Fasten your seatbelts and hold on to your hats. Total Recall is going to blow your mind. So, yeah, I love the critics, how they used to review films back in the day. It's going to blow you away. It's going to blow you out of the theater. It's going to blow your brains out. It's going to make your heart stop. But it's kind of a small ad for Total Recall. I might have more. I don't know. And once again, here's another ad for Rocky. This is Rocky V, which starts Friday. So pretty terrible poster for Rocky V, and not a great film, but I did cut it out. And here is a pretty old ad. I can just see by how wrinkled it is. The Fly. Now this was the one that I was really looking forward to when it was coming out in the theater, and I could not wait to go see it. And I didn't even know I had the ads for it, but it's a really cool ad, and you can see the age of it. And if we had The Fly, why not The Fly 2? Like father, like son. So yeah, now we have The Fly 2. And here we go, the original ad for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is what, that it just misses out of right now. These posters are so freaking phenomenal. And this actually came out on Wednesday. So it starts Wednesday, so they didn't even come out yet when this was in the paper. So, yeah, it was, a great ad, and obviously it's a classic film, and I'm really glad I still have this. It has nothing to do with movies, but apparently, without the benefit of MTV or significant radio play, the rock band Metallica has required a top 10 album in the hardcore cult following. So they're going to be at Lakeland Civic Center. I think this might be from Florida. I think Vince might have sent this to me. Concert tickets $16.50, available at Ticketmaster, because I don't think there's a Lakeland Civic Center here. I think that might be Florida. So Vince could have sent me this. So $16 to go see Metallica. And we're back with Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. Some splendidly scary nightmares. Freddy's Fifth is a symphony of screams. Well, I don't know about that. Freddy's still the tops, so... Again, this kind of looks like Florida, because I think it might be. Vince might have sent me some of the ones that, because he used to cut them out as well. So this could be one of the ones that he sent me. I mean, this is probably one of the better ones I have. I mean, if Adventure has a name, it must be Indiana Jones. You know how excited I was when I opened up the paper and seen this thing. I mean, this was obviously the sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark, and down here it says it comes out Wednesday. And this is one of the most perfect images of Indiana Jones ever. Just standing there with his machete, his whip, his shirt torn open. You can tell he's all ragged. And if Adventure has a name, it must be Indiana Jones. I mean, it don't get better than this. And I had it taped up at some point. You can see the old tape. Must have taped it up again on my wall and kept it for a long time. But yeah, it's one of my favorite ads that I still have. And it's just awesome. I mean, what else can you say about it? Just really cool. Over on the back side of this, let's see what's out. Romancing the Stone is out. 16 Candles was out at the same time. We got The Natural up here, and some movie called The Power, which I've never heard of. The Rocketeer. Yep. There was the original ad for The Rocketeer. I have a lot of these too, so I'm going to start getting through these a little bit faster. Another small ad for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. Another Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. Celebrate the 4th of July with Gremlins 2, a new batch. So we got yet another Gremlins 2. You can see I was a huge Gremlin fan. Starts on Friday, June 15th. This is a kind of an odd one that I have. Uncle Buck. I love the Uncle Buck movie. I don't know why I cut it out of the paper. I guess I was a big fan of John Candy. Yet another one from Gremlins 2. You can see I was a really huge Gremlins 2 fan. And here it is, Back to the Future 3. They saved the best trip for last. Now you talk about a great looking ad. I mean, this is really cool. And if you look down here at the bottom, it says, Thursday night, one time only, see all the futures Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, exclusively at the Kenrick. I actually went and took my dad with me to go see all 3 of them. Because I had seen the first 2, and then they were debuting the 3rd one. So, again, what amazing memories that I had from that. And it's just, that's why I keep this. It's incredible memories I had from this. Dick Tracy! Anyone remember this movie? Warren Beatty. It had Madonna in it. It's something I wouldn't mind going back and rewatching, because I haven't seen it probably since I cut this ad out. I was a huge fan of Stallone, and I don't know why I cut this little ad out. Sometimes I have these little tiny ads. Stallone Lockup. The best thing Stallone has done since Rocky. I don't even remember the movie. Apparently, I was a really big fan of Steve Martin. So, Parenthood, yeah. Lots of great reviews for it. I don't know if I've ever actually even seen the movie. I don't even know why I cut it out. But yeah, there's Parenthood. Dick Tracy. I guess I must have thought this was going to be like the best film ever when it was coming out. Be There First. Now this is a weird one. Matinee with John Goodman. I barely remember going to see this. I believe I did see it. I couldn't tell you anything about it. Another Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Actually, I don't know if I had a Part 4 yet. I probably did. But it was held over, though. Here you go. Schwarzenegger, Total Recall. Pretty cool poster. Again, I was so excited to go see this. Starts today, it says. Paul Verhoeven film. Another one from Back to the Future 3. The most delightful series since Star Wars. The first was for himself. The second was for his country. This time, it's to save his friend. Rambo 3, May 25th. A phenomenon continues. So, yep, there it is. Rambo 3. Now here's another cool one. RoboCop. It's the original RoboCop ad. Beetlejuice, now showing. It's kind of a small ad for Beetlejuice. So this is a pretty cool one. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's a sight you don't want to miss, which I didn't. We went to go see this, and this movie blew my mind, and it still blows my mind today. So, pretty cool that I had the ad for this. Here's a small one from Friday the 13th. Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. New York has a new problem. Yes, they sure do. And we have James Cameron's The Abyss. There's everything you've known about adventure, and then there's The Abyss. So, yeah, I was super stoked to go see this. I haven't watched this in a long time. A couple more things here from The Abyss. It out ET's E.T. Wow! Love story of shattering impact. And here's more over here. 4 stars. Exciting thrill of a minute. The Abyss. Check this out. It's in color. It's Friday the 13th, Part 8 again. Jason Takes Manhattan. But it's red. Give it up now. Give it up. Masters of the Universe. Come on. Yep. I cut out the ad for Masters of the Universe. Come on now. I probably have quite a few of these. Here is the original Batman. I know I have something that's really huge. But there it is. It actually has a little bit of yellow in there. Another one. Gonna need to give it up for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Starts Friday. Lean green and on the screen. Cowabunga. I was so excited to see this movie, and it still holds up today, actually. Excellent film. Again, not really sure why I saved this one. The only word is actually wow. I mean, what else can you say? Wow. Hunt for Red October. The original Child's Play ad from the paper, and it says it will terrify you. It has some eyeballs, which I don't even think are Chucky's. I don't even know who those belong to. And a building with somebody falling out of it and some electricity. And some red. So they probably had to pay a lot for some coloring in a black and white ad. This is an old one. And I used to have this thing taped up as well, as you can see some of the tape. The Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, the original ad that was in the paper, Freddy's Revenge, starts today. Some of the things on the back of these. Jewel and Nile and Spies Like Us was also out at the same time. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Michael lives, and this time, they're ready. So, yep, there it is. Halloween 5. This is another classic. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Starts Friday. And speaking of Merry Maniacs, check it out. Go back for the holidays. Why not? Back to the Future Part 2. You can get back to the holidays, and you have Santa here with them right there. Halloween 4. Going back in time. The Return of Michael Myers. Starts Friday at a theater near you. 10 years ago, he changed the face of Halloween. Tonight, he's back with the thickest neck ever. Over 10 million people have experienced the year's most exciting movie. Now, it's your turn. Die Hard. It has nothing to do with the movie, but this guy's getting blown away at the movie theater, because that's what you did back in the 80s. You were just blown away in your seat as you were sitting there. So here's the original ad for Back to the Future Part 2. And I know Vince sent me this one because it says the Tampa Tribune. So that's what special Bay Area premiere Monday, November 20th. So this is one that actually Vince sent me that was in the Florida paper. Just don't see a movie, experience one. Die Hard. And yet here's another one for Back to the Future 2, which said starts today. And again, I think this is from Florida. This actually has a lot of meaning to me. This was the first time I ever seen the Batsuit. I actually went to the library because I had heard that the Newsweek, it's from 1989, so it says down here in the corner, January 23rd, 1989. I went to the library because someone told me that they were showing the Batsuit in Newsweek. And I don't know why the library had it, but I went there and I actually made a photocopy of this. And this is the original photocopy I made back in 1989. that showed the Joker and what the bat suit looked like. And I freaked out after I seen his bat suit. Wow, this is a big one. Kindergarten Cop. Big ol' ad for Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Kindergarten Cop gets straight A's. Excellent film. If you've never seen it, it's actually one of Schwarzenegger's best comedies, I think. So it's a really, really good movie. And you see how huge this freaking ad is. Now this is the one I can't believe I actually have. It's Home Alone. What a horrible picture. Horrible ad. But I have it still. Dances with Wolves. But I wasn't really concerned about that. Because Home Alone. And here is yet another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ad. It's pretty turtle-rific. America's #1 comedy. Yeah, I knew I had this thing around here somewhere. Special advance showing Thursday night at 10 p.m. I was there for the original Batman. And this is the poster that was in the paper. Yep, that's it. That's so cool. You know, the original Batman ad. It doesn't even have color in it, but didn't really need it. Here is another Child's Play 2 ad that was right around Thanksgiving, so we know when it came out. He's wearing a Thanksgiving hat, cutting turkey. I had all these Gremlin 2 ads, and here is the original ad that first came out. Gremlins 2, this is what it looked like. Always loved this poster of the Gremlin's hand with a cigar and Gizmo in the drawer of the desk. So this is what the original ad actually looks like. So here is an ad for Predator 2, The Ultimate Hunter. Here's a little bit bigger ad for Die Hard. Oh, it's Die Harder, I'm sorry. And here we go, we got Ghostbusters 2. Starts Friday, June 16th. Twins! Another great movie by Arnold. And this is actually weird because I have it folded over here. Here's Land Before Time, if anyone remembers that. And if you open it up, you got Scrooged over here, and the original Naked Gun is as well. Fletch Lives. I was a big fan of Fletch. Explode July 4th. Now showing Batman. Check it out. New at Target. $16.99 for the Batwing. You got a Batmobile with a thing that goes over the top and action figure, which I actually have. I don't have any of these though. I don't even remember those actually. On the back we have the stereo cassette player. Sony AM/FM. And a boombox. Here is a very small ad for Pet Sematary. Dead Poet Society. Once again, I'm not sure why I cut this out of the paper. I mean, I guess it was a good movie. I don't remember it at all. I know it was a good film, but I don't know why I would bother cutting it out. But here it is. Lethal Weapon 2 in color. This one here is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And down here is Roger Rabbit and Baby Herman and Tummy Trouble. So I guess I was showing before Honey, I Shrunk Kids. Again, a good film that I have not seen in a long time. Good Lord. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. Yeah, saw his family. War of the Roses. We had lots of comments about it. 3 Golden Globe nominations, including Best Picture. And again, I have not seen it in a long time, but I don't know why I would cut this out of the paper, because I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but I have no idea. So this is a more proper one here for what I'm doing. Chevy Chase. Starts today. You'll Crack Up. Christmas Vacation. Another just odd film that I cut out. The Dream Team. I have no idea. I don't even remember this film. I'm pretty sure I have not seen this film. But Michael Keaton is positively wonderful in it. Here's the original ad for Night of the Demons. A Porky's for horror fans, fraternity type raunch, and frightening too. So we get to the very last one here, and it's Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And I mean, you can't really end it with a better movie than this. So that's it. I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed my trip down memory lane. It was a lot of fun for me. And I said back in the day, you know, you had to open up a paper, and that's the only way you could find out where these things were shown at, because there was no internet, there was no other way of finding out. You had to open it up and you're like, oh, this is going to be at the Esquire, or it's going to be at the De Pere, or, you know, Chesterfield Mall. So, and then you would call them up and ask them what time it would start. So literally that's how you would find out how films showed back in the day. And there was no other way of knowing about films other than these ads in the paper. And I think by cutting these out all those years ago, I have preserved a little bit of movie history here. And hopefully you guys enjoyed going, like I said, down memory lane with me a lot of fun to see what I had back in the day and that I used to cut out and keep. So if you haven't yet, become one of our Maniacs. Hit the subscribe button. Like I said, this is Merry Maniacs, and we're going to be here all month long giving you stuff like this, opening presents. This is my present to you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time here on Merry Maniacs.